Cool time. So start with you introducing yourself.
My name is Jack. I go by Baby Jack Glass on Instagram. Um, I've been blowing glass now for about it's coming up to my official like 3 year anniversary in April. So that's exciting. Yeah.
Why did you choose Baby Jack Glass?
My mentor is Upgrade Glass, and he was the first person I took classes from and the first studio I rented out of, and I had other Instagrams, but everybody in the studio and everybody like around town that comes to Sunset Glass Gallery knows me as Baby Jack. So I just thought it was very fitting to change it after a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were already known as Baby Jack before you were Baby Jack Glass?
Yeah. 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 So I thought that would help out. Like it was getting to the point where I'd be like walking down the street down like the busy parts of Tucson, and like somebody would yell at a car, "Baby Jack," and I'd be like, "Oh, well, like hi," and so I was like, "Oh, it only makes sense to if that's what people know me as to change my Instagram too."
Okay. Hey, did you have a different name before that?
I did
What was it?
Toad Sage Glass. Yeah, that.
How long was that one?
I mean, I probably only had it like that for a year or so before I decided to change it.
Yeah. Everybody was just already calling you Baby Jack, and you're like, man, I gotta just go for a T1.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. At first, I was like a little like in denial about it, like I didn't want to, and then I decided, um, I don't know why I'm being this way about it. Like I kind of was fully accepting the nickname to the people around me, so it's like screw it, I'll just change the Instagram too.
Yeah. So what was the first thing you made in class?
Oh man, well before I took the class with Jack, I bought a small setup for my garage at home, just trying to teach myself glass blowing. And I bought it from a guy that was making beads. He's a soft glass worker. So the first things that I ever made were some soft glass marbles that I didn't know were soft glass. So when I put them in the kiln, most of them like exploded completely or just like completely cracked all the way through. But my dad still has those marbles.
So
So
you
tech,
actually, the next question is, do you still have the first thing? So your dad still has them.
yeah, my dad still has them. There's like 12 just completely destroyed marbles in like his toolbox at home. And I've told him like multiple times, I'm like, you should just throw these away. Like these aren't even any. I compare it to like landing your first kickflip, but then like not like like rolling away completely. You like hop off your board. That's how I felt about those marbles. It's like yeah, I made the marbles, but they didn't last through the kiln. So did I really make anything? But then after that, it was probably like when I took the class with Jack. We made some one hitters, some spoon pipes, some marbles, and like some dab tools.
So the first intentional Boro thing
Yeah,
was which of it?
I'm pretty sure it was a dab tool, a dabber. Somewhere, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, in a drawer full of like my first like 6 months of just like shit
Yeah, you got
that
to
I
sell
like
it.
couldn't sell. Yeah, because like so a lot of the stuff like early pipes and stuff for one hitters, I was still able to like kind of sell to people that I knew around me. But like there were a lot of things that I just was like, oh, this is my first one of this that I made, or like my first spoon pipe that I was actually like proud of. I was like, oh, I can like take this and be happy with it, you know.
Okay. We touched on it a bit already, but just give us the whole rundown on how did you get started in class?
So it was COVID times. I was 21. I had turned 21, and COVID was still going on, and I was working. And things were slowly starting to open back up, and I was training jujitsu for a few years at that point with my brother. And one of my coaches at the jujitsu school, his name is Paul Stout. He runs the Sonoran Glassblowing School on the south side of town, and or helps run it. And they don't just do like they do all kinds of different glass art. They do stained glass, big furnace, soft glass pieces, and everything. But at the time, because of COVID, they lost their torch teacher, and I told him I was kind of getting interested in glass through Instagram and YouTube at the time, and I told him as soon as you get a new teacher for the spot, I want to be like the first person to sign up for those classes. And then eventually, a few months later, I think I was like the one like mainly pushing him to like find somebody to do those classes because like I just really wanted to take it. And then and it ended up being Jack. And I had already been following Jack on Instagram for a few years at that point, so I was very excited. I had never like officially met him, but I was excited to like go meet him, take this class, and it was a month. It was a month long class. It was every Saturday for the month of April, so it's four Saturdays in a row, and it was just an amazing experience. I was the only person in the class that had like a torch set up at home, so. Um,
Kind of able to go home and practice.
Yeah, and like I would come in the next week and like those skills would still be there while other people were kind of like still struggling a little bit. And so at the end of that month long class, Jack asked me if I would like be interested in joining the studio. And at the time it was just Jack and Jake. So and Jake came with Jack from their previous studio. So it was like kind of cool that I was like the first renter in here and like really watch this place evolve.
I don't know what this place is. A little bit.
Tucson Torchworks. It's connected with Sunset Glass Gallery. They are a glass gallery smoke shop. Very popular one here in Tucson. And right next door is the studio, the glass blowing studio. There's now, I think, 6 or 7 renters, and then we have the school bench. And when I first came in here, there was absolutely none of that. It was just like 4 benches, and behind those benches was like a bunch of trash and like just bullshit everywhere. And the school bench wasn't there, and it was just crazy to be able to like help get this place and organized and in order and um, like be there when we were doing the ventilation and the electrical work and like watching Jack create a skylight through the roof with his foot falling through the ceiling when we were trying to do like the electrical and all that. And um, it's just been really cool to like watch this place grow and see all the faces that come through here and I'll meet a bunch of friends, including like yourself and Marina and um, everybody else that just comes by and hangs out. Everybody I get to take classes from. I mean, that's probably the best part about this place. And for me, besides like the camaraderie and the friendship, is that like not a lot of other glassblowers have the opportunity, like at their back door, like the place that they rent from, to take like such amazing classes. And I've been very fortunate enough to learn from a substantial amount of amazing glass artists. So I'm very happy with that. I feel like I wouldn't be anywhere without those classes for sure.
So let's talk about, I mean, the way I've been kind of framing this a little bit is the question is like big influences when you started, but it doesn't necessarily need to be just glass. It can be any kind of artistic influence. Is there anything that were like really pushing you in certain directions when you were first getting going?
Oh man, that's a really good question. Um, there definitely was a lot of glass artists, and I think at the time too, like I've never been musically inclined. I think there was a lot of music at the time that was just inspiring me to like try new things and like reach out into like new aspects of like creativity because I was just kind of discovering some newer, different sounding music where never really thought like people could like make a living off of like doing something completely different like in that regard. And then so creatively it just like very fueling to like know that like you can do stuff differently outside the box and still like make a career, have success through what you are creating, putting out into the world.
Where did you first sell your glass?
I I work for a local dispensary here in town in Tucson. Um, I work at their grow site, so I don't work for the dispensary, but that is actually like luckily like still to this day like probably where 90% of my sales go is just coworkers, people that want things, and I know I can like make something new that some of these people, even though they're in the weed industry, haven't necessarily seen before, like new ways of smoking, and show them cool rigs, and they're always excited to like support me and help out and stuff. So it's been really cool. I've been working there for coming up to 4 years now. So they like those people that have been there have watched me my whole like class career from literally like the shittiest one hitters to like buying some of the nicest rigs that I've made so far. So it's definitely like that is very nice. I because there are people that struggle with selling their work, especially early on, and I never really had that problem. So that's always felt good
Yeah, it's cool. It seems like a really good support system around you from the start,
for sure.
in a bunch of ways. Are there certain objects that you made at the start of your career that you're still currently making?
Um, I wouldn't say. I mean, yeah, like marbles, but I think it's more the idea of like when I started my glass career, where I like wanted my glass to be when I was able to obtain the skills to like make that style of glass, and I still have that same vision, and I still have that same like want to make the things that I wanted to make when I first started. I'm not entirely there yet still, but I'm like on the right path, you know. When it comes to like my shaping and milli work and everything, I feel like it's getting to the spot where I originally thought I would be. So making the right steps.
So you talked a bit about what it looked like here in the studio that you're moving into when you first started, but were you familiar with what was going on in the scene as a whole outside of this area? Like, were you already kind of into cannabis before? And
Yeah, I mean, I was into cannabis and everything, and but I not entirely. I mean, within the glass scene, I had a idea of like the people and the culture, but it's entirely different once you start like going to events and like meeting these people and like getting to hang out with people and collaborate on a piece or something like that. It feels the community in which like glass and cannabis as a whole has provided me like throughout my adult life so far has been like uh, the best thing I could have ever asked for. Um, because I mean, when I was younger, I just didn't know like where I was going in life or like what I wanted to do, and then but I've always been into weed, and then when I started like blowing glass and working these events and finding out more about events and everything, you really truly see like how big not even just like your local cannabis community is, but like throughout the entire country or world. It's pretty amazing. Like I've gotten to take classes, hash making classes in like San Francisco and everything, and met people there that have bought stuff from me, and like I've gotten to work dab events here that have opened up opportunities for me to work like other private dab events where like I'm meeting other people in the industry, and it's just opening up more and more doors, and people within this community and this industry are um, very willing to have a helping hand sometimes when you really need it.
yeah, it's good. So paint me a picture a little bit of what the scene looked like when you first either started blowing glass or started getting into cannabis and were recognizing that glass was even happening. Right? Because it seems like you kind of were aware of it before you were blowing glass.
Yeah.
So like, give me a little idea of like what it was looking like to you at the time when you were starting, when you first started kind of getting interested.
Oh man. I've always seen cannabis as a very booming industry. I mean, it always has. It's been like one of the fastest growing markets ever for a while, and so I've always been aware of that ever since I was like a little kid. When I like when like medical marijuana was just like on being talked about, and and so I've always been aware of like the opportunities that cannabis as a whole uh, can create. And but when I got into glass, um, I feel like when I got into glass, it was probably like one of the best times that we've seen for glass so far. The market was going crazy. People were making some very awesome stuff at that time. Still are. I mean, um, but it just felt like every day I was seeing like some of the most insane collaborative pieces. And
What year was that?
2021 about, and like I feel like it was just because like you know COVID happened and the people that like were blowing glass and working a job just were blowing glass full time at that point, and because they just couldn't go back to work, and then more people were getting into glass, and it was such a growing thing at the time that I was like, one, I wanted to be a part of that, but two, I really wanted like something like creative, more creative outlet, and something that's like so unique and different, and but where I could like truly express myself, because glass is like unlimited. You could do anything, like in any expressive way. You can put it into your glass. You just got to think hard enough about what you want to make.
Yeah, so we hope the scene looks like in 10 years.
Oh man. Um, I hope there's more places like Tucson Torchworks and Sunset like around the country. Um, because more the more people that come here, the more I hear like, oh, this is like the best vibe, the best studio, like the people here, the events that you guys have, and I think I think it would just be cool to have like a place like this everywhere. I want like all like a bunch of people to be learning how to blow glass, and I don't really want this thing to be like a secret, but uh, because it has been a like a people gatekeep glass for quite a while. They kept it a secret for quite a while in a lot of aspects, but I feel like especially now, like the knowledge is like unlimited. People are willing to share and lend a helping hand, and I think it glass is on the right direction. It's just who wants to stay in it, long enough.
Um, what is your favorite thing to make right now?
Um, I really like clear functional work as of right now. I'm starting to move into the process of putting like more color and like just straight up set like custom sections that I've made into my own work. Um, but I still really love just beautiful functional clear glass. There's something about like a fresh rig, like completely clean, first rip out of it, the water and the smoke moving through a clean clear rig is nice, especially if your welds and everything are like crisp. It just looks beautiful. I'm still a huge sucker for that, and I love just to like figure out how I can make the water move in better directions and look smoother and everything. So I'm still on that path for sure.
What's your favorite thing to do outside of class?
Oh, that's I really enjoy hanging out with my friends and like um I don't know. I do like a lot of different stuff outside of class, and like I feel like I don't do like a lot of stuff that I dislike in my day-to-day life. Like I like my job, I like class, and I like going out with my friends and the people that I hang out with and do. Um, I think the main thing that I probably do outside of glass though is like, as dumb as it sounds, like I think this is why I was hesitant to say it at first, but like I really like to like meditate and like work on myself. Yeah, but it sounds so like egotistical saying that kind of stuff like out loud sometimes. But no, I really do. I like to like sit down and read some um, philosophy books or like self help books or like meditate or um, just really sit with myself and do some self reflection. That's kind of like my favorite pastime.
Well, I feel like that helps with everything else.
For sure. Yeah.
That's gonna help with your glass. It's gonna keep you calmer. It's gonna keep you focused.
Makes the world go round. At least my world.
What do you feel more glass blowers should be paying attention to?
Things around them that aren't art, but that they like. I mean, it sounds so easy to say like that you get inspiration from, but I feel like some people just like don't even realize when they're getting inspiration. um, for example, like I have a buddy that is an apprenticing tattoo artist, Jordan Goodwin, really good friend of mine. He does this thing, this really interesting thing that I even started doing, where uh, he'll go to a thrift store and he'll look through like the books, even if they're just regular books, or like he'll go through the home goods section and look at cups or look at these little statues, figures, or whatever it is, and take a picture of that item or picture, whatever it is, and then goes home on his iPad or whatever and redraws it up in his own style of Flash tattoo art. And I think that's so like interesting how he can just go and be like, oh, here's a funny like little picture of a dog on a teacup. Like, let me figure out how I can make this dog like my style because I like it's just giving him inspiration. And I've started doing that more with my glass, where I just kind of like look at things like the colors of objects, or like going to the thrift store and like trying to do that. It's a little harder with obviously the meeting of glass, but like I mean, if you're a sculptor, like you can go and look at a lot of stuff and figure out like what you want to sculpt. Or if you're if you like functional like shaping stuff, go and look at like some weird cups at a thrift store and look at the shapes of these weird cups. Like you can find, or like just items in general, like vases or anything. There's inspiration all around you, and people just need to kind of like open up their eyes more to it. And I even struggle with it at times. I'm not perfect, but like I feel like that's a thing that a lot of glass artists lack. They just are looking at other glass art and not just like the art around them in their day to day life.
All right, last one. What do you hope to accomplish in glass?
Um, I don't want to be rich. I don't want to be famous. I just want to like make what I like, and if other people like it, that's and they want to like support me and buy it, and that's cool. As long as I can like live off glass, like I'm cool. And I don't drive fancy cars or anything. I drive a '99 Toyota Tacoma, so it's like, and I like that. I'm not change. I'd never change that. I don't. I like my life the way it is. I just want to get better at blowing glass. Really.
All right, thanks, man.
Thank you.